Hi guys, good evening, and welcome to yet another episode. Tonight, this is episode 42. Okay, so this is a very important existential number. So we won't be doing any philosophical and why and how life started to came to be, but we are going to be questioning our existence as Amiga ray tracing users and what we would have done without Renderfarms. Okay, so tonight's episode is going to be focusing on how we will be using Lightwave with Renderfarms so that to speed our animations and to speed up our production so that they are the work is being distributed throughout, via the net, via our network that we may have been setting up. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to point out that should you want to ask a question or come in contact to me with me, so don't hesitate to contact me here, muadib3d@gmail.com. Also, I am paying attention to the channel and each episode's comments, so you're very welcome to comment there and ask questions. If you want to support the project, the course, and support the server that Amiga Raytraces is running on, and future extensions that I'm planning to do regarding the Renderfarm, you are very welcome to visit the page on paid Patreon here, patreon.com/muadib3d. Okay, and also there is a possibility for one-time contributions via PayPal. So you can either visit the About tab here on Twitch, or the down on the description of each video on YouTube. Okay, so having said that, now let's go ahead and start with how to set up our render farms. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to pay a visit to my friend Midwan's homepage, which is called Blitter Studio. It's here. There. So blitterstudio.com, you can see here how it is. So over here you will see there are some projects that Midone is currently being engaged into. Most notably, you may have known him by the Amiberry project. He's doing it very good work, bringing UAE to Amiberry environment. Okay, so, and also if you go to home, his recent posts have covered the subject of creating a render farm using Lightwave inside the Amiberry environment, running on a Raspberry Pi. Okay, so here we go, and here you see his experimental render farm that he has done. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh wait, 6 devices here. Okay, now the render farm does not have to be only on Raspberry Pis. Okay, so, and we will cover that later. The prerequisites for that are that depending on when you want them to be hosted. For example, you can have a machine running WinUAE, you can have another machine running Linux and FSUAE, such as the one I'm running my master on. You can have a real Amiga, and you can have Raspberry Pis. Okay, as long as you have an environment that is running on UAE, and this environment can see the content, let's say the machine that is handling the scene files and the output files of each Raspberry Pi. So you're gonna be, let's say, let's call that our content directory computer. Okay. Anyway, on part 2, you are going to be seeing the hardware requirements. So as I said earlier, you have to have a common storage location to hold the 3D content. Okay, this is the, in my case, I have a Raspberry Pi 3 holding the 3D content that is running an Amiga environment on Amiberry. Okay, and inside that you have the Lightwave program that is holding the scene, and it's giving information to all the render nodes. Okay, you're done, get another frame, and so on. All this I'm going to be demonstrating in a while. Okay, so you have the hardware requirements, then the software requirements. So I haven't tested that, but I think the RenderNode special boot environment, here, this is a minimal hours installation. It can run on a already, of course, already installed Amiga, if you have the kickstarts and so on. But I haven't tested it through via Aeros. Okay, so you can, of course, if you would like to, set up a render farm, you can start setting up everything here. There is, let's say that here. Okay, let's start from the beginning. An image of the latest Raspberry Pi OS. Okay, this is for Raspberry Pi only. Let's say for Windows or Linux, you're okay. You have already the system. The latest Amiberry version for Raspberry Pis, of course, or the latest WinUAE or FSUAE. Then you will be needing the Kickstart ROM files. Okay. So you would be needing to either buy an Amiga Forever package or extract them from your Amigas. Okay, that much is clear. I mean, yeah. Yeah, Mid1 has an alternative Aeros ROM that is included in the emulator in the RenderNode environment, I think. No, in the emulator. So yeah. Then you need a directory containing all the Lightwave 3D content you want to render. That can be either whichever computer can work with that, with being in the network and seeing all other computers. Now we come to the part of Samba. Samba is a protocol that many of you might be using for sharing files via through computers in your local network. Until Samba 4.8.2, if I remember correctly, in Linux, Samba was working flawlessly with Amiga Samba. Okay. After that, I haven't been able to use to use it for contacting my Amiga. I think they have messed up something for with the version 1 protocol. So if you want go after the 4.8.2 version, then you're just fine. But you can try and see how it fares. And then this is of the most important thing here. I would like to show you just for now. So it will go to Mid1's GitHub. Okay, so here you have the RenderNode project. Okay, Mid1/RenderNode. So, and here in the releases, if you press the release, you will be having the RenderNode Aeros zip. Okay, so this is let's say this is the partition, the RenderNode virtual machine will be using in your Raspberry Pi, in your in your Amiga's emulation system for booting up into being a render node. Okay, so if I try to unzip that and I open with my manager. So let's see if you can see that, perhaps here. Let me see. I mean, you might there. So I'll just take away this and have the screen capture on. So you might be having me, yeah. So here. So if I press on the RenderNode Aeros and open up with the archive manager, you can now navigate inside, and you can see the familiar system directory structure here. So inside S, you'll be having startup sequence, user startup, etc. And there's also a start node file that is started inside startup sequence, which opens a shell that runs a Lightwaves ScreamerNet. Lightwaves ScreamerNet is the node program for rendering and outputting the files that it has rendered back to the network. Okay, we'll demonstrate all of this in just a sec. Okay, let's see now, what have we left here? Configuration, yeah, and from here on, Mid1 starts to explain step by step how to do every one of these points here, of these steps. Okay, so I won't stay more here into that. You're free to try and installing and and playing with this. If you need any help, as I said before, you can email me in the muadib3d@gmail.com. Okay, or you can email Mid1. I think he will be happy to provide you with any info and help for running this program in your Raspberry Pi. Okay, now having said that, let us just go and demonstrate really what we can do with that. Okay, so let me iconify this one and take this away also. Okay, So here I have my desktop. You can see my desktop, pretty nice. I will take this away too. And let's see now what is going on here. First of all, anyone from the chat? Hi guys, welcome Amiga Ireland, another TV viewer, Anouk33, and Kio Brilleman the first. Welcome guys. So now, first of all, we are going. What I start with is I have a VNC viewer so that I can contact my Raspberry Pis through my desktop. Okay, it's very easy to. I can actually show you how to do that. How to fix this in your Raspberry Pi. So as you can see here, I have named this Lightwave Content. This is the Raspberry Pi, which is a Pi 3, that gives work to the rest of the nodes. You know, node 1, you take frame 2, node 3, take frame 10, and so on. So this, wait a minute, just let me, great, now it's responsive. First of all, you might want to activate VNC. It's a bit off topic, but you might want to do that. So you just type raspi config. Yeah, I have to do it as root, and there has to be a space here. Yeah, and sudo. Thank you very much. So here you would like to go to advanced options, or no, I think, yeah, interface options. And under interface options, you go to P3 VNC. And here you enable or disable the graphical remote access. Okay. Then you go back, of course. Then you will be at the point where you will be having Amiberry installed. Okay, so you'll be having a directory of Amiberry installed. Inside there, if I list the contents of my hard drives, so, you know, it's with small, yep. If I list the content of my hard drives, you will be finding, I have a RenderNode drive here, a RenderNode partition. Okay, maybe I can no, that didn't work. Perhaps this one. Yes, now I think now you can see clearly. I have enlarged everything. So I have here the RenderNode partition that I talked about earlier, where you can download via the releases from Midone's RenderNode page in GitHub. Okay, and so there, I think you can see better. Okay, so this is my Lightwave Content machine. You know, this is the Lightwave Content Pi that I have only the Lightwave Content environment running. Okay, so when I invoke the Amiberry command, or if you want to have the RenderNode environment in a WinUAE, FSUAE, you just fire up your Amiga emulator. Okay, so I think I'll just take that away from there, because otherwise it it is cropping some things here. Okay, so I have saved the default state, the default configuration that it is booting into. So it is very important to have the fastest settings loaded, selected. Also here, and since you don't want your Raspberry Pi to be running at full speed, since that Raspberry Pi is not going to be rendering, okay, so I've set the CPU idle to 20. Here there is, the emulation is running all the time, but I'm backing up a bit, I'm throttling down a bit so that it won't be warming up your Raspberry Pi. Another thing to select is immediate bleeder, okay, etc. And then you can just, I think the rest of them is okay. 128 is maximum memory for Raspberry Pi 3, and also, yeah, the hard drives. Here is a very important thing. The hard drives. The first one is the RenderNode, which is going to be, this is the boot partition. The other partition here, DH1, we will be calling that projects. This partition, let me show you. This partition is a physical directory inside the Raspberry Pi environment. So let me see here if I go back. Yeah, ls. You have the projects directory here. So if I list the projects directory, damn, I can't I make it? Perhaps this is the way to do it. Yeah. Yes. Now you can see everything. So over here there are two directories, as Midwan describes very well in his guide. There are two directories you want to be having: the 3D and the command. You will be seeing that both 3D and command are under, they have a green background, which if you list all the the permissions, you will see that I have the command and the 3D. Everything else you can ignore. The 3D and the command, which is what are of interest to us, they are directory and they are accessible to everyone, both to write, read, and execute. Okay. This directory, the projects directory, will be the other partition of our RenderNode configuration. So if I go back to AmiBerry and I run it again, yeah, you will see here that in the hard drives I have as DH1 the pro and the volume projects, the home Pi Pro projects subdirectory. Okay, this is the directory where my shared 3D directory is going to be read and written on. Okay, so let's play start to see how that looks from inside the Amiga. Okay, so this is the RenderNode, very lean and Spartan environment. Okay, so in the projects, as I said, we see the 3D. I have some projects here, and then the command. The command is actually just for Lightwave to send work files to the other nodes, telling them, okay, you can take this frame, okay, thank you for the frame, take the next frame, and etc. Okay, so starting that, the RenderNode has the Lightwave FP. You might have the Lightwave program. Okay, So inside the Lightwave program, you have, you have the usual stuff here, and here you have the SN. This is the ScreamerNet. Okay. And here you have the net rendering methods, which are 2. Okay, the original ScreamerNet assumes that every node has the 3D program, the 3D directory. So this is not the one we will be using. Okay, but the ScreamerNet 2 assumes that that each render node can see via the network the 3D and command directories. The 3D directory. The command directory is also on the original ScreamerNet. Okay. So, and that is why it is asking you, okay, that let us see once more the message here. This method should only be used if the network CPUs can share directories. So we have a shared directory, so yes. And press here. So the panel is a bit different. Okay. So having that here, let me minimize that a bit. So I'll put it here. There. Okay. This is our Lightwave Content Pi. Okay. This is my Amiga, but I'll take it. I'll turn it off for now. Okay. So now we're going to fire up. No, actually, not yet. We'll go first to my Amiga, the one I deleted here. And now we want to prepare a scene for ScreamerNet rendering. Okay, so I'm going to Lightwave. Let's say I want. Okay, let's make a very basic scene. So let me see here. Let's make a box, which is going to be our ground here. Here, let's say. There. And let me surface it as ground and save that. And let's say webcast. Now this is episode 42. So let's say episode 42, create that. Okay. So we have 3D webcast episode 42. And also we are creating another one more subdirectory inside that, and we're saving our ground as ground. Great. Now on the next layer, I am with the background here. We have the background seeing my layer layer 1. Okay, I will be creating a ball. Let's say here. Let me create that completely. Let's see. Okay, 0, 0, 0, and radii should be 800 millimeters. 800 millimeters. Let's keep it simple, and that should be in the center as well. Okay, and call that a sphere. Great. So I made a sphere and I made ground. I created a ground object as well. So I'm going to save that as sphere there. Okay, now we're done. Let's say we want just these 2 objects. Okay, so I'm loading the ground first. Yep, it's great there. And I'm loading the spheres as well. Okay, so now I have my 2 objects exactly as I modeled them. Okay, you can see that both have the same origin, 0, 0, 0, etc. So let's see how the camera is seeing that. I'm moving the camera near there. At first glance, you can see that my ground needs to be flipped. So I'm going back to modeler and layer 1 and flip that. Export to as ground and going to layout. Now it's great. It's exported. Saving all objects because I want to keep that orientation. Okay. So now I will be placing my sphere. So the sphere is going to be here, say, there. Okay, sorry. So the camera sees this. Okay. So I'm having this here, there. Okay, I'm doing a test render, so this is exactly what I was thinking, you know. So let's make it a bit more interesting. The sphere shall be, let's try put some checkerboards. It shall be white there, and let's checkerboard. The checkerboard here this is going to be red. Great. What have we done so far? Oh, it sucks. But anyway, let's do something. Yeah. Anyway. Anyway, we don't want to delve much on that. So, yeah, let's keep it at that. Okay, use texture, smoothing on, and I think we're done for that. We are okay, saving all objects to keep the surface. And the ground, what shall we do with the ground? Let's put a purple grid. Let's keep it gray there and put a purple grid. So let's see, red, we want some red and some blue as well. So I think more there, I think, yes. Something like this. So the line thickness shall be 0.1 and the size shall be, okay, let's keep it there. Yeah, and keep it 0.5 there. I think that should be very, very nice. Okay, and the camera, let's put some shadows here. And yeah, you can add whatever you wish. I just want to, now want to show you how an animation should be rendered via the render node. So I will add some motion. So let's say I want to, I want my ball to, I can see it better here, so yes, there. So I want this ball to be moving to the x-axis, the y-axis, sorry. So that should be here, say on 10. And no, what did I do? Oh yeah, but anyway, yeah, this is on 10. Great, and that should be 0, 0, 0 on the, no, sorry, 0.800 there. Okay, in the 0 axis. So this is the motion it shall be doing. Okay, and also I want, since this is going to be at its zenith on frame 10, I want the ball to come back on frame 20. So frame 0 shall be also frame 20. Okay, so if I make a preview from 0 to 20, I'll have this. Okay, not very realistic, but I have an animation. Okay, and I also can say, yeah. Anyway, I won't be doing anything more. I just want this motion. Okay, I can do that. I can do some more. So I now have this position, and I have the velocity. So here I can. Oh, this is nice, really. Spline, so this will be 0. Continuity, no. Bias, no. 0. Anyway, let me just. No. No. And continuity. Yes, the continuity is what I am looking for. So 0, 0, 0, and continuity, I'm holding C, so I'm keeping it there. There. Let's see if I made any. Anyway, nothing. We can fix this, you know. We can make a tutorial about realistic bouncing balls. Okay, so we have this animation from 0 to 20. Since, yeah, from 0 to 20. Okay, so I'll just go to scene and say 0 to 20. And this is correct. Yes, saving the scene. I'm saving this scene here in the same directory as I have the object. No, in the same in the same 3D directory as I have, you know, the say episode 442. So I will be creating a subdirectory which is called scenes, and inside here, let's say Boeing. Also, what I need as well is I will be needing an output directory. Okay, so let's say this directory is going to be called output, simply put. Inside the directory I will be sharing with all the nodes. Okay. So cancel. I don't want anything to do here, and nothing more. And Boeing. And this is clear. This is done. I am done with my scene. Okay. I know that all the assets exist in the directory I'm going to be sharing. So I'm getting out of here, out of this thing. So this Amiga here is also sharing the project's subdirectory, the project's shared directory. So what I can do, I can go to, I can copy it either from inside my Amiga or outside from the operating system, you know. So I can either go here and say local 3D. I want the local 3D, let's say 3D webcast, and episode 42. This is what I will be sharing. Okay. Let's have a look at what the scene is telling us here. So if I double click, this is each scene is a text file that tells Lightwave what to do and where. So if you see here, this is the full path: 3D webcast, episode 42, object, ground. So I have to create, even if I don't want to say copy the whole webcast directory, I have to create inside the 3D of Lightwave content, inside the Lightwave contents 3D directory, create a webcast, and then under that, you know, copy all my files. Okay, which I'm going to be demonstrating right now. So this is episode 42. This is the one I want to be copying. Okay, So I'm going to my 3D, my Renderfarm 3D. This is the Lightwave content. As you can see here, projects, double colon 3D, okay? And I have just 3 directories. I have a webcast directory, so I will just go inside here and just throw episode 42. I just copying it here, so now it's there. Okay, so Lightwave content is going to be distributing all the jobs to the render nodes, and then the render nodes will be saving the output frames here. Okay, which reminds me, I just have to make sure that I have defined, yeah, something I forgot to tell you, but I actually remembered now. So if I say, if I load the scene again, this is my Boeing scene, okay? I go to record, and then under save RGB images, I have to go to navigate inside my episode 42 subdirectory and into output, which is where it's going to be saving the scene. So don't forget that part, otherwise Lightwave won't know what to do. So I'll just say Boeing underscore, and the rest of that is going to be saved in 24-bit IFF. Okay, continue, and S, and Boeing, yes, and out of Lightwave. Great, and now I have to go back to episode 42 in my local for episode 42 scenes and copy the scene, because I've just saved one more information, so important information, so I have to copy that to my Lightwave content machine. Okay, here it's asking us correctly, replace, yes, replace, thank you very much. And this is done. You know, I have all my assets here, objects are here, the scenes, here's the scene, and I have the output here. Okay, so everything is done. So I don't need this Amiga, because this is not a render node. So okay, so I'll just take it away. Okay, so now that I have created a a scene to render, I go to my Lightwave content machine, open the inside Lightwave, open ScreamerNet, select ScreamerNet 2, and just press Screamer init without having anything else loaded. Now this step is for Lightwave to clean, first of all, to delete older job files, okay, and secondly, to create new job files according to the number I've given it here. Now this number corresponds to the available CPUs, the available machines that are going to be ray tracing. Okay, so I have 3. I have 2 Raspberry Pis, and now we'll be creating a render node here on my Linux desktop, okay, which is going to be running FSUAE. So with that done, Screamer init, I'm adding a scene to the list. So I'm going to my 3D directory, webcast, and episode 42, and scenes, and Boeing. Okay, so here it says, it starts saying, scene one. You can batch render, of course. You can have as many scenes you'd like. So scene 1, Boeing, it's the name of the scene. First frame 0, last frame 20, step 1, exactly as we have defined. Okay, done, 0. So now that we have this scene, now it's time to start our render nodes. So let's start render node 1, which is this one. Sorry. And now let me put this here. I have this. And now I will be starting my Amiberry render node. So you see that the script that Mid1 has created has automatically entered into the ScreamerNet 2 node, as you can see here, and it is waiting for a job. Okay, it hasn't have any handshake yet. Okay, so let's start render node 2. So here, there. Okay, so this render node 2 has initiated, and it's waiting for Lightwave to answer to it. Okay, it's nothing yet here. And let me add the third render node. So I have a specific configuration here as well. So this is FSUA. It's not Amiberry, but it's the same thing. So I'll start that too. There. So all three are waiting for the initiation. Okay. So now that I have started all three, I am pressing Screamer init once more. And it found all three Amigas. So now the message in my render nodes has changed to wait. There is a handshake with all my Amigas, okay, and 3 available ScreamerNet CPUs were detected. This is what ScreamerNet is reporting. Continue. Okay, and by pressing Screamer render, we are seeing it here. Raytracing, and also each render node is reporting in its shell what's going on, you know. So I have 3, 8, 9. You know, you can see what is the distribution of you know, the distribution of rendering happening. And it's done. So you have the status here, % done, 100, and it's done. Let's go and check in our if it is also, you know, if it has saved, you know. So here I have I can see the Lightwave content through my Linux desktop. So inside 3D webcast, I have 42, episode 42, and the output. And here we are, Boeing 0 to Boeing 20. And if you see here what is going on, see, you have a frame here, there. So another frame. Okay. So this, you know, it worked. Okay. One more thing. Let me see. Yes. In my system, I have the Lightwave content machine and my rendering, let's say rendering distribution, the ScreamerNet Master in the same machine, but this doesn't have to be the case. So I can, for example, start Lightwave and ScreamerNet inside this desktop here, inside this machine, and have everything point to this machine that has Lightwave content. Okay, so you can have a different machine holding the Lightwave content and a different machine invoking the ScreamerNet. Okay, as long as the command directory points to the directory that every other Amiga is seeing. Okay, that every other Amiga is, say, networked with. Okay. So let me see. Let me see if I can demonstrate that as well. So I'll just quit here, there. So okay, so I'm quitting Lightwave here and exiting that emulator in Lightwave content. Okay, and start a let me exit that as well and start another instance here with my normal Amiga configuration. Take that away. So let me just place that somewhere where we can see everything. There, I think this is great. I think this is nice here. Okay, so here I have my usual Amiga, and here you see it's just the Lightwave content machine doing nothing, no emulation of the sorts. But through my Amiga, I can see this the Lightwave content machine through here. Okay, so the system is seeing that. So if I invoke Lightwave, say here, and go to ScreamerNet, now I have to change the command directory. Oops, sorry. Okay, and go select ScreamerNet command directory and go to projects, which is the shared directory, and command, and press OK. And it says here, ScreamerNet must be reinitialized whenever the command directory is changed. Initialize now? Yes. Great. Oh, one more detail I missed. I didn't. Oh, by the way, it found them. But anyway, I'll just change to ScreamerNet 2. There. Okay, so the command directory here is verified projects command. Great. Screamer init once more. So it found them. Okay, so everything is happening through my Lightwave content subdirectory, Lightwave content shared machine. Okay, two available. Let me add a list. So this is my local. Be careful because you may mix that with your local directory. So I'll just press volumes, projects, 3D, and webcast, and 42. Say the answer to everything is 42. So scenes, Boeing, and I have the same thing here as well. Okay, so if I press Screamer Render, stuff starts happening here on my render node. So they start re-render everything. Okay. And again and again and again. Rendering 6, 7, 8, etc. Okay. And if I have a multi-threaded machine, I can invoke, a lot of RenderNode instances and start, edit this number here and start doing distributed rendering, or I can have batch rendering, or whatever I would want. Okay, so yeah, I think they are complete, 100% done. Okay. Yeah, so that was it for today. I hope you liked that. I think there were a lot of you that were expecting, this subject, how to do distributed rendering and or how to do batch rendering here, for example. So I hope that was helpful. If you want any kind of help, any comment or whatever, you can write in the comments below. Send me an email, or send an email to Mid1 if you get stuck during the installation process, etc. And I'll be happy to answer. Okay, so let's see now. Let's take that away. By the way, thank you, Jarla. Thank you very much. By the way, yeah, you can if you shut down the ScreamerNet, you can see every the shell gets freed, and every render node goes on with its whatever you have it on the startup sequence. Okay, so that was it for that. So let me just delete these stuff here and see. Yeah, just let me clean everything here as well and get back to my desktop. Quit everything here. Great. So you can see here, there's some background logging going on by Lightwave. Okay. So thank you very much for being here, for watching the episode. I hope that was helpful. I would really like to know how it went for you. So don't hesitate to send me an email or comment, or whatever you would like to share. Okay, so last but not least, I would like to give a shout out to our patrons. Shout out to our patrons. Two of them are present here. Amiga Ireland, or Jarla, as you know him. Mid1, George Sokanos Volcaro, GS, Anthony Jarvis. How many did I say? Okay, Jarla, Mid1, George Sokanos, also known as Volcaro, GS, and Anthony Jarvis. Yeah, these are the 5 ones. Okay, so if you want to support the channel, you can see down on the description how, if one time PayPal, if monthly Patreon. Okay, thank you very much. By the way, Mid1, yes, exactly as I have shared, and exactly, yes, if there are any issues, you can use the pages there. Thank you very much, and have a great night. Bye bye, guys.